What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Inside the D. We're here for episode 8. This is going to be a bit of a different episode. Instead of focusing on one topic, we have a few talking points to start with. One, I want to start with it. Maybe a couple weeks ago was the biggest talking point in world football, and that's Messi. He decided to stay at Barcelona until the end of the season. Where do we think he's going after next season if he leaves?
Well, I think right now it's hands down Manchester City, unless Pep Guardiola doesn't renew his contract with them. I think one of the big reasons that Messi's excited to go there is to play for Pep, and we know they had a great relationship in Barcelona. He loves playing for Pep. He's also great friends with Sergio Aguero, so it'd be nice to have them together. So right now, I think it's no question Manchester City. But I would also love to see him, as much as I hate them, play for Juventus so we could see him and Ronaldo together. That would just be spectacular.
I agree. I think I've always said since the beginning I'd rather have Messi go to Juventus. However, I think it's going to be Man City, like you said, and then I think he'll play there for a couple of years, and then he'll go to NYCFC. I think that's going to be part of the deal, and then maybe finish his career off there. Maybe go back to Argentina, to New Old Boys, or who knows? We'll see. Parker, do you agree with us, Man City?
Yeah, I think he's just gonna head Man City, play out his time for a little bit until he, falls off of quality, and then he'll probably end up going to New York, and then after New York, he'll see if he wants to continue playing or not, and then he'll probably head down to Argentina.
I agree. I mean, I'd love to see him in New York, to be honest. I know it's the MLS, but I'd like to see him there. I mean, they've had Lampard, they've had Pirlo, they've had David Villa. Messi in the MLS would be pretty crazy, especially if Ronaldo moves there too. Imagine Messi and Ronaldo in the MLS.
That'd be wild.
Would be pretty exciting. You'd
I
watch
think
the MLS, right?
no,
No,
garbage
Still
league,
no.
garbage league. I think
still
Barcelona
boring.
though made a huge mistake in giving away Luis Suarez, because him and Messi were best friends. He was probably one of the only men on Barcelona who would be able to convince Messi to stay. And we see Messi is devastated by the fact that Suarez is gone. He did the Suarez celebration when he scored. He had that big Instagram post where he talked about how like they did Suarez so wrong. They really gave away the one player that would have been able to keep Messi in Barcelona.
Really,
Yeah,
honestly, Luis Suarez. And speaking of Luis Suarez going, I mean, they've had a lot of players out: Vidal, Rakitic, Arthur, Semedo. I mean, what do we expect from them this season?
I personally think Koeman's doing a terrible job. He is kicking out all the players that have helped build Barcelona up. And the fact that he's told like some players specifically, like I know this happened. I read about what happened with Puig. He tells some of the players specifically, like, you're not going to play. Like, I don't want you here. You need to find a way out. Like, whatever. A coach should not be doing that. He should be trying to build up Puig, maybe get his market value higher so sell. But you don't tell a player, no, you're not going to play here. Like, I don't want you here. You never say that as a manager. So I think he's doing a terrible job.
I agree. Parker, what do you think?
yeah, I agree. I think he has a good foundation, but I think just strictly going for players from Netherlands is just. I don't think it's a way of going at it. Like he's going for Wijnaldum and he's going for Memphis Depay. I just don't think it's gonna get it done. Like if you look over at Wolves, it's doing a good enough job. But if you want to go to Europa League, like great, by all means sign all Netherlands players. But I think he's just not handling the situation well. But I don't think you can blame everything on Koeman. I think a lot of it's the board and just how they treat the players in general. Like you see Rakitic leave and not really a goodbye message. You see Suarez leave, not really a message, and Vidal and all these players are leaving and they're just like, okay, bye. Like they're just trash to them. Really, it's just not how you want to treat your players.
Not at all. It's not really. They didn't get the proper send off that they deserved, as a lot of players don't, which is really unfortunate. For me, Barcelona, despite us saying that they had such an underwhelming season last season, which I think they did, they made it further than Madrid in the Champions League. Maybe they, had an easier competition. For me, if Barcelona doesn't win the league or finish second place, it's a disappointing season.
Yeah.
No, no question. They need to finish top three for sure. It should be top two. And I think if they're not going to come in first, Koeman's it's going to be his only season there. I think they're just going to keep firing coaches until they can get to that number one spot.
They're going to panic. They haven't been a bad team in ever. I mean, that's surely since I've been born, since we've all been born. They're used to winning. They're used to finishing first and second, and they have to do well. They have to finish first or second. They have to go, I'd say, quarterfinals at least in the Champions League, possibly even further. It's going to be a hard task, but Koeman knew what he was doing when he was taking this job, and Barcelona fans think he's here to stay. But like you said, if it finishes in third or fourth, then he's gone. He's absolutely gone. Uh, Semedo to Wolves, right? Is that a bad signing for Wolves? I mean, he was what, 30 something million? I don't remember what it was, Parker. How much
I
Yeah,
think
like
I think
34.
25.
was it?
25,
25? Either
It
way, I
might
mean,
be 25 plus add-ons.
maybe.
plus add-ons. So he's gone. And like we mentioned earlier, a bunch of players are leaving. Do you think they're going to be able to bring in the components they need for this season for them to be successful?
I don't know if they will be able to this summer transfer window. Maybe they'll be able to bring in a couple players, but I mean their main target was Memphis Depay, and we've seen. Look, they say they're interested, but Koeman hasn't even fully convinced the board to go out and buy him. I mean, we're not really seeing any major steps into being able to get him. Just because you say you want him doesn't mean you're even close to getting him.
Right. If we can predict right now who wins the league at the end of the season, do you have Barcelona or do you have Madrid?
I think no
Madrid.
question Madrid. Yeah.
Madrid.
Yeah.
I think so too. As much as I want Barcelona, it's got to be Madrid. And
They have more pieces.
I think Ansu Fati is going to go off this season. Do you guys agree? I mean,
I don't know about go off, but I think he'll have a great season.
The
I mean,
thing
I'd
is,
hope so.
though, now that they have Ansu Fati, could we see a departure from Dembele? I mean, I know he said he wants to stay in Barcelona. He likes playing for Barcelona, but obviously they're going to favor the 16 or 17-year-old star over Dembele, even though Dembele is great. So I feel
And
like
they,
they could sell him, make a lot of money off him as well.
and they have Coutinho that could play in that position as well. I mean, Dembele's got to leave. If you're Dembele, as much as you want to stay at Barcelona, I mean, what
I
a
don't know though.
career at Barcelona for him.
I think he should stay because Messi's gonna leave, and if I'm not mistaken, Dembele can play both sides. So
Okay.
if Messi's out of there, then you got Dembele's an easy replacement or Fati. I think,
You think just wait it out this year till Messi's gone and then
or not even just because he's probably gonna come on as a substitute or get subbed in. Because remember, he's still coming off of injury. You can't just like plop him right in and have him play games 90 minutes. Like that's not really gonna be ideal for him. So I think he just needs to come back, get to the point where he was, and then try his best to make it into the first squad and like take spots away from Messi or Fati.
I
Well,
see.
remember, if they get Memphis Depay, they're going to have Griezmann probably playing on the left wing. So there's only going to be that spot on the right side. So I mean, I honestly don't understand why they're going for Depay. They bought Griezmann for a lot of money, and he's the perfect filler for Suarez. And they're trying to go out and buy Depay. I don't get that.
Because Depay can also play a center forward role like Griezmann. So if you just keep Griezmann on the wing, you can also have Depay at center forward. But I agree, it's a bit of an unnecessary, spend, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, I think that what they should be targeting is defense and also center mids. I mean, they just gave away Arthur, who was such a great young star. Look, they have Pjanic, but how many seasons is he there for? Just a couple.
Just a
So
couple, and he won't outperform Arthur, will he?
not at all. So they need to
No.
be looking for midfield instead of attacking.
I can agree with that as well. And they just lost Vidal as well, and Wijnaldum would be a good signing. I think. I think he's got to get out of Liverpool, especially now that they've got Thiago. I think that
Yeah.
the best signing would be Wijnaldum for sure. If we want to stay on the topic of Barcelona here, let's move over to some transfers. Let's just stay on the topic of Barcelona. Serginho Dest already named as the replacement for Nelson Semedo. Fabrizio said it was an almost a here we go. So he's essentially he'll be at Barcelona in the coming days or weeks. Can we all agree that's an upgrade from Semedo?
It is, but also they have Roberto, whose main position is right back. I know they play him out of position a lot, but I feel like they really didn't need to go out and buy Dest. I mean, he wasn't that expensive for them, so they could have just brought him in. I mean, he could have been a good signing. I mean, he could have been a good signing. I mean, he could have been a good signing. I mean, he could have been a good signing. I mean, he could have been a good signing. I mean, he could have been a good signing. I mean, he could have been a good signing. I mean, he could have been a good signing. I mean, he could have been a good signing. I mean, he could have been a good signing. I mean, he could have been a good signing. I mean, he could have been a good signing. I mean, he could have been a good signing. I mean, he could have been a good signing. I mean, he could have been a good signing. I mean, he could have been a good signing. I mean, he could have been a good signing. I mean, he could have been a good signing. I mean, he could have been a good signing. I mean, he could have been a good signing. I mean, he could have been a good signing. I mean, he could have been a good signing. I mean, he could have b I guess it's not that terrible of a buy, but they had Roberto, who's a great, great right back. So I feel like they could have put that money into maybe going and getting Thiago from Bayern.
Really, yeah, honestly. And also, obviously, Dest plays for the U.S. national team, but he's also another Dutch player. So that would make him the third Dutch target that Koeman is trying to get. I mean, he's really going after the Dutch players, which is fine, but it depends on how much they buy Dest for, because I think he has potential to be better than Nelson Semedo, but like you said, Roberto's there, and it's a little bit of some unnecessary spending, and they should be focusing more on finding a midfielder, right?
Yeah, I mean, even not if they want to go for something else than a midfielder, I feel a center back, just depth at the position, having PK who's old and Langley who's obviously he's really great. Like they don't even need to replace him. I think he can just stay put. Like he's still young and developing.
I
But
think
go ahead.
you go. Okay, okay. Well, you said depth at center back. They have a star who barely gets. I mean, doesn't barely, but he doesn't get to play that much. Is Umtiti?
Hmm.
He's riding their bench. I think it's time for them to let go of PK. Although he's a legend and he's great, he's just old. He's taking time away from Umtiti, who's still got a lot of time left, who could be starting, who's very, very good. And I think their main focus should be keeping him and giving him the playing time that he wants.
I'm not too focused on the Barcelona team and how they play their players. Do any of you guys know of do they do rotation center backs or does MTT not really play?
I
He
have
doesn't play
no
that
idea how
much.
Barcelona.
It's usually Lenglet and
PK.
PK. Like I'd say probably 70% of the
That's
time.
what I was thinking. I think MTT should. It's hard to say. You're right. I think PK out is the best option. Like you say, he's getting old. MTT is a very good center back, and he's just not getting the playing time he deserves. And that's what happens in big clubs. If you're a good player, a lot of the times you're not going to play because those big clubs have better players in your position, and it's really unfortunate for him. Um, moving over to staying in La Liga, but moving over to Atletico Madrid, like we just talked about, Luis Suarez was supposed to go to Juventus. Something happened. Now he's at Atletico Madrid. He's staying in La Liga. Is Atletico? Are they title challengers?
I don't know about title challenges. I think that's Real Madrid's spot, but I think they definitely could beat out Barcelona for the number 2 spot. I mean, their team is so strong. They basically upgraded striker because although I like Morata, I mean Suarez is so much better than him. So they've upgraded a big position. They still have João Felix to play striker as well. I think their team is great. They're young. I think they can compete.
It's going to be exciting, I have to say. Suarez in Atletico uniform looks just so strange. Parker, you think
Really?
they're living up to the hype? You think, or no?
I think they're gonna live up to the hype, and not only are they gonna live up to the hype, I think they're just gonna be fun to watch. I mean, with Suarez and Costa and Simeone, it's gonna be just show every time they're on the pitch. You never know what you're gonna expect. I mean, you got a biter, a kicker, and just an all around funny manager.
I mean, they're yeah, it's a bit of a shithouse team, I guess you could say. I mean,
Whoa,
they're two
we don't
strikers.
curse here.
We have to bleep that out.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll think about that probably. But yeah, you got the two most aggressive strikers in the world, maybe the guy who bites
yeah.
people and the guy who kicks people. Love it. I love it. And like you said, Diego Simeone. I mean, crazy manager. I love it. I can't wait to watch Atletico this season, and I would love to see them win the title. Probably not going to happen, but I'd love to see it. Morata, who came from Atletico, now to Juventus. He's back in Juventus. Was this a good signing from Juventus?
Well, I think first of all, it was great business by Madrid because basically they bought for Murata for at the start of the summer for what like around 45 million, and
Around
then
that.
sold him 55, like in one summer, 10 million profit on him, and still upgraded a striker for free. So first of all, it was great business by them. I was a little bit confused as to why Juventus would be going for Murata or even going for a striker. Although Cristiano Ronaldo's main position is left wing and he's good, I think they should be playing him up front because they have Douglas Costa at the left wing and they have. I mean, I don't know why they need a striker because Ronaldo was great at striker last season. But again, it wasn't a bad signing. I think it was a bit too high of a price for Murata. But again, they've got all the money in the world.
Yeah, I agree with that. Douglas Costa rumored to go to Wolves, I think it was, rumored to leave anyway. So I guess that's a pretty good signing if Costa ends up leaving. But if not, I mean, you're right. That was, again, one of those pointless transfers. Morata's a good player, but I mean, it's really a downgrade to who they were going to sign, Suarez, and even Dzeko, you could say. It could have been a downgrade from him. I don't know how they ended up not signing either of them. What was the story on Suarez? Why did he not go? And same with Dzeko. Why did they not go?
Well, I think Suarez didn't go because they basically said like he's kind of just taking too long. So they went to Dzeko, and then something happened between Roma and Dzeko, so that couldn't go through. So then their next option, I guess, was to just go and buy Morata. And I mean, what do you expect? They're one of the top clubs in the world. They have all the money they want. They'll just spend it on whoever they want.
With a last minute affordable option. They would have loved to have the two options before Morata, but I guess you can't really hate on that. Maybe he'll have a good season. He's played at Juventus before. He's been playing in Europe for Chelsea, Madrid, Juventus, Atletico Madrid. I mean, he's played all over all these big clubs. So maybe it's a good signing. Maybe he'll impress. We don't know. Again, not a Inside the D episode without a little bit of Chelsea talk. We're not going to talk about Ziyech and Werner and Havertz, but I do want to talk about Edouard Mendy. Chelsea finally have a goalkeeper that could potentially be their starter.
Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it.
Well, I don't know. I think he'll probably play tomorrow against Tottenham in the FL Cup. As a fellow Chelsea fan, Parker, do we like this signing?
Of course we like this signing. 28 years old, 6'6".
He's huge.
Absolute beast.
Absolute beast. I can't wait. I really can't wait. He led Rennes all the way to third place in the Ligue 1.
Yeah.
I mean, Camavinga was maybe a key part in that team too. But, I mean, you can't get anywhere without the goalkeeper. And Kepa might be gone. He might be gone. Hopefully.
I want to see him move back to Spain because he was great there. And, I mean, he had one bad season with Chelsea. He started off. He had a rough start for Chelsea this year.
We can count this season as a bad season. Right?
Yeah, but I mean, I want him to move back to Spain because I think that's where he fits. That's where he played really well. He had one good season in England, but it's time to go back.
Beginner's luck. I think he's heavily linked to Roma on loan. I mean, that's not a bad move. It's a decent team in Italy.
They don't need him.
Who do they have?
Pretty sure they have a goalie.
They have a goalie. That's all you need.
Yeah, that's all you need. Kepa, as long as there's someone other than Kepa that you're.
Yeah, I agree. I was thinking.
I think Chelsea should honestly keep Kepa because the price that they paid for him and what they're going to be able to sell him for, it's just like they're making such little. First of all, they lost so much money on that. I think they might as well just keep him as a backup. He might, his career might get revived or something.
Who's better though, Caballero, Kepa?
Caballero.
Yeah, but I'd rather have Kepa as my backup than Caballero. Kepa's young.
Wouldn't.
Kepa's young. He has talent.
You haven't lived with Kepa yet. You haven't seen.
If Kepa learns,
you're
how to
not a fan.
Dive, he could be good.
If Kepa learns how to dive, that's a big thing.
Dude, he did dive, and the ball went under him somehow.
I mean, he had an assist against Liverpool for Sadio Mane. He literally gave him the ball. I was watching it.
It's a clean assist.
It was. I wanted to throw my phone across. It was 1-0 too. I was like, okay, maybe we have a chance to tie it up. Kepa goes and gives it to Sadio Mane in the 6-yard box and just.
Dude, I think we should sign Kyle Walker. I'm not gonna lie. I think if we get Kyle Walker in goal,
he would be a
better goalkeeper than Kepa.
Exactly.
I'm not this petty, but I did unfollow Kepa on Instagram.
That's a big deal for Aiden. That's a big deal.
I was a bit mad. After the Liverpool match, I just hit him with the unfollow. I'm sure he's really going to take that one to heart. But he limited comments on his Instagram.
I don't blame him.
I do feel bad for him.
Also, I saw him
hate on a player to his face like on Instagram. That's just messed up.
I mean, I saw his girlfriend also left him because he was so bad. Affecting his home.
Where'd you get that from? The Sun? Come on, that's not very wrong.
No. That's what I heard.
I heard that as well.
Because she was feeling a bit unsafe.
Yeah, because she was getting death threats.
Well, now she gets to move to Rome if he gets the go ahead to AS Roma.
Well, now she's gone. She might go and get Mendy. You never know.
You never know what's gonna happen. Um,
Jesus.
okay, so then we want to go to the other London team, one of the other London teams, Arsenal. They just had their bid rejected for Aouar of Lyon. Lyon told them to double it. We think that they're going to pay the 50 million to get Aouar?
No.
No, right?
Nah.
I mean, they spent way more money on Pepe, so maybe
Willian
they
starts over.
will. Maybe they will, but I could not see that happening. They're
I
not
don't
gonna
know.
pay
I
the
think
price.
I think Aouar is just he's better than excuse me. He's better than Shaka and better than everyone else in the midfield except for maybe Ceballos.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But
but
like
with that price, are you gonna pay that?
Look at
price
their
for
owner, though. Their
Aouar?
owner will fire everybody that works for Arsenal Football Club just to get a couple of players. I mean, that's the mentality that Kroenke has, is that he fired a bunch of staff members to pay Willian. He'll do anything to get Aouar. I think so. He's on
he
thin
needs to
ice.
start by getting Ozil out of there.
He does. I mean, he
That's
pay him
and
so
that's
much. I think it's okay that they pay him so much because a lot of that, most of his goes to charity, which I like. But
yeah, but still,
Yeah.
why
paying him to
he
sit on the
doesn't even play? I have not seen him in an Arsenal jersey in like 2 years.
I mean,
Yeah.
he definitely hasn't played a good game in a while. It's
I'd rather have Aouar than Ozil. So
But what about? I would too at this point, obviously. But
they should swap.
they've been linked with a cheaper option, who I know Chelsea doesn't need, and that's Jorginho. That could be a much cheaper, better option. At the beginning of the summer, Chelsea valued him at around 60 million. Now I'm assuming that's going to go way down. Is that a nice cheap option if they can't get Aouar?
I mean, I guess it's like a fine settlement. Like he's old. He's not gonna play for that much longer. I mean, obviously you'd much rather have Aouar, but if you have to settle, I guess Jorginho's not the worst option.
Yeah, I guess so.
He's also been linked with PSG.
That's true. I'd like to see him at PSG. I don't want to see him at Arsenal. We gave him Willian. I don't need that. I really don't need that anymore.
They love the Chelsea players.
They do. Well, when they're old. When, they always go for the old Chelsea, but they're gonna have Thiago Silva when he turns 41 when he's out of Chelsea, but
Most likely.
most likely. Staying in the Premier League, Manchester United. A lot of the fans were getting angry with the owner for not signing any players, the manager for not signing any players. They've been linked to Alex Telles, which I've heard is almost a done deal. It basically is a done deal. And then I've also heard they're gonna make one last push for Jadon Sancho. Do you think they're gonna get him? It seems at this point impossible.
No, they're not. Jaden's also already said he's going to stay in Dortmund, so I don't think we're going to see that move. But I think a great move that Manchester United did make this window was getting Donny van de Beek. One of me and Aiden's favorite players. We discovered him in like FIFA 17 or 18.
I scored like 8 goals with him, and I had no idea who he was.
We had no clue who he was. One of our favorite players. I think he's a great midfielder. He's learning from one of the best, Pogba. I think he's gonna start to move into Matic's spot, and he's great.
Yeah, I mean, what a signing! It was 34 million, I think it was, for Van de Beek. Amazing. He's such a great player, and I hate to see him go to United, but it was an unbelievable signing. I also heard that if United ends up getting Sancho, which I'd say is around a 3% chance of even happening, I don't know if you guys have heard this, Daniel James would be allowed to go on loan to Leeds United if United can get Sancho. Can you imagine Daniel James in a Leeds uniform?
I mean, just think about the benefit that would happen to Leeds if that happens.
I don't want that.
Leeds is already impressing with their contest with Liverpool and just overall having 6 points in general at out of 3 games. So I think, I don't know if Daniel James goes there, that's just a huge upgrade.
And they get Draxler. They have Llorente. I mean, maybe they'll get Draxler. I don't know. They're really trying to spend right now. I don't like it.
Yeah, for a team who just came up from Championship, they've been spending a lot of money. I mean, they're linked to buying also one of Bayern's, younger, smaller players, Cuisance, and he's good, but I guess he'd be okay on the bench. But they're going out and they're spending a lot of money for a Championship team.
Wait, I want to pause just to let everyone that was a beautiful French accent from. I don't even think the guy's French, but Parker and I could
That's
not
amazing.
contain ourselves on that one. That was a good one. No, you're right. Leeds is, they're spending a lot, and they're definitely shopping a lot of their players and trying to find good replacements. And I don't like it. I don't
I
like
don't
it.
even think they need it.
There's something about Leeds I just don't love. I don't know what it is. I just don't like him. But Bamford has 3 times as many goals as Werner this season, which is a little unfortunate. But
Jesus.
Bamford will flop. He'll flop, just like the rest of Leeds, down the drain where they belong.
Diogo Jota has more goals than Timo.
Diego Jota scored on his Liverpool debut today. And didn't he score in the EFL Cup, or am I crazy? I think I'm crazy.
Wolves?
No, Liverpool. They just played against that Luton Town where they won.
No, I don't think he played.
He did. He came on, but I don't know if he
Yeah,
scored.
he did.
Lincoln City. He didn't score.
He didn't score, but he came on for a bit. So scoring on his Premier League debut, fine. I didn't watch the goal, but was it Eco or Park? You said it wasn't that great of a goal. It was an okay goal. Maybe it was Luke. I think Luke told me. I don't know. Someone told me that his goal wasn't that great. And
I didn't watch.
yeah, I was gonna say I wasn't watching that end of that, but I think our friend Luke told me that it was just an average goal. But I like Diego Jota, and I'm glad that he was able to get on the score sheet. So that's fine. Staying on transfers again, staying in the Premier League. Bale on loan to Tottenham. Reguilon. They stole him from Manchester United. Is this going to happen? Is Tottenham actually going to do well this season, like we didn't predict in our tier list?
I mean, they're gonna do fine. They're gonna be top. I think they're gonna be top 7 between the 7 and 5 spot. I don't think they're gonna push for top 4. But I was very happy to see Gareth Bale go to a team where we're gonna be able to see him play. So he's not just gonna be sitting on the bench. I'm really excited to watch that. And I think they got players that they needed, and now they need to work on. They're linked with Inter defender Skriniar, who's very, very good. So if they can pull him too, they could maybe push for that 4th spot. But I think maximum we'll see them is the 5th.
I think so too. And I don't remember where we put them in our tier list, but I don't think it was high. I think I had them like 10th place in my list.
I know I put them at like 6 or something.
Put them at
you
decent.
guys were like, no, they're going 10th.
Because I hate Tottenham more than any team in the world, and that'll never change. So I'm hoping they don't do well. But man, those were good signings for them, and I really wish Bale took the number 3, just like old time's sake. But he stuck with the number 9. I don't know. I don't like the number 9 on Bale. I don't like that.
Bale. I think he's already having a better experience considering he clapped when they scored a goal against Newcastle, and he wasn't looking through binoculars
instead of during the game. Oh, I love Bale. I love the way he handles stuff at Madrid. I think there's some technical difficulties. Everyone, please hang on. Parker is
Parker's frozen.
a bit cut out at the moment. Parker, were you back with us?
Yeah, I'm back.
All right, Parker's back with us. He cut out a little bit, but he's all good. Those are the transfer rumors, the biggest ones at the moment. I know we focused a little bit more on the Premier League, but that seems to be the biggest league in the world. I think it's the biggest league in the world. So we find ourselves getting a little carried away talking about those teams, so we apologize for that. We move on to our next little talking point here. We've got our early standouts and disappointments. So far in the top 5 leagues, or maybe just the Premier League, we'll see what we have to say. Who's your biggest standout player right now?
Well, I don't know about biggest, but one of my favorite standout players, and this might be a little bit biased, Brahim Diaz for AC Milan. I mean, played in our last game, scored a goal. I think he has an assist as well. He's only played in like 1 game, and he came on in another one. He's showed great skill. He's made a couple defenders fall. I mean, I'm really excited. We only have him on a.
You don't get points for ankle breakers.
Yeah, but it's nice. They're nice skill moves. We only have him on a dry loan, but right now we're working on being able to buy him. Real Madrid don't want to give up rights to him, but hopefully we can get him.
Got it. I think my early standouts are Mendy, Havertz, Ziyech, Chilwell. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, you'd be lying, so.
I know. I'm going to go with a former Chelsea player, and I think we talked about him a bit last episode, but Tariq Lamptey. Seems like he's the most important Brighton player by a mile already, and it's been 3 games. Chelsea sold him for $3 million. Another not a great business move by us, but he's an outstanding player. I mean, He
Hardest worker.
controls the game. He's a brilliant right back. I really wish we kept him, although I do think Reece James is better. I mean, Tariq Lamptey is such a good player, but he's my standout player, my first standout player. Parker, who you got?
I mean, I don't know how much of a standout he is, but Reece James, he's Chelsea kind of look like they're in shambles. I feel like he's the only player that's consistently putting up good performances, game in, game out. I mean, one game, I mean, against Brighton, he literally said, "All right, like my time to shine," and just scored a goal out of nowhere. Like, come on, this dude, he defends, he does it all.
He has it all. He's better than Alexander Arnold. I'm just kidding. He's obviously not.
No, he is.
No, he's not. Come on.
Arnold's just a winger, disguised as a right back.
That is true. That is true. I have to say that is true.
I mean, Arsenal scored a goal because of it today.
That's true. They also scored a goal because Robertson
Didn't clear it.
circuit pass. I don't even know. Van Dijk did that against Leeds. The defense is questionable, but I don't know. Staying with Chelsea for a second, I just want to point out Mason Mount. With the whole Chelsea injury crisis at the moment, Mason Mount's getting a lot of playing time, and he is looking like our most important player already. And I can see him having a starting spot, maybe.
Over Havertz.
He's playing better than Havertz right now. But you don't want to.
You just spent so much money on Havertz.
You don't want to take too much playing time away from Havertz because we need him to play games to get used to it. But him and Mount playing right now is great. But I do want Ziyech and Pulisic back.
I think you guys need to change your formation to be able to have both of them on the field at the same time. I think that would be so good.
Hard.
To have we're too overloaded at those positions.
Exactly. And
we have like 4 wingers and like 3 cams.
A full healthy thing because we need the CDM. We need Conte. For me, it's got to be Conte, Kovacic, Havertz.
They both have to be in.
Conte, Kovacic, and then Havertz.
I honestly think you guys need to move on from the CDM, push it to a center attacking mid, and sell Conte while you can for a high price. He's getting older. You have so many young players who can fill the position. I think it's time you move on from Conte.
Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
No, you stop running a CDM and you have him run
Kovacic and
Conte. Dude, do you see our center backs?
Conte played center back against West.
Yeah, good. Dude, sell Conte. And
our center back, he's our best center back, and he's a CDM.
Sell Conte and invest the money into getting a center back.
Dude, I don't think you understand. We played 5 attackers last game against West Brom. We moved Conte back. There
was a time where we had Giroud, Werner, and Abraham up top at the same time. I've never seen 3 strikers.
We're talking about standout players. Quickly, a disappointment. I hate to say it for you guys.
Don't say it.
Chelsea.
It's not a player.
So no,
a team.
A team. They're so disappointing. They spent so much money in the transfer window. And Aiden's big excuse. Everyone's hurt. Okay, Thiago wasn't hurt last game. What'd he do? Gave up a goal. So easy.
Okay.
That was a terrible mistake, especially out of your captain for that game.
You can't say our captain. He captained our team for one half, and it was
Cesar was
gave up a goal, and he gave up a goal. Literally got the ball and just kicked it to the side, let them get it.
I know, thanks.
Wait, can you explain it again? I don't think I was watching the game.
I don't think I realized what went on in that, if you want to.
I don't think I saw the replay like 8 times during the game.
It hurt. It really hurt. The fact that Parker and I watched the game together, the fact that we celebrated a draw like we won the Champions League. Like when Tammy Abraham scored, my dad was looking at us like, what are you guys, like, we were screaming. Our neighbors said they heard us all over an equalizer against West Brom. I know it was a 3-0 deficit, but we can't be even in that position in the first place.
Yeah, no, I told Aiden, I was like, that game was so disappointing. He was like, what do you mean? We tied it. We were down 3-0. I was like, you shouldn't have been down 3-0 to start with. But he still claims, oh, it was a fine game. We came back.
We did.
Also, Caballero had 0 saves.
To West Brom.
I think they had 3 shots on goal. They're all goals. The biggest L of the day, though, was Parker putting Callum Robinson on the bench on his fantasy team. He ended up scoring the brace against Chelsea.
Yeah, and I started Timo.
I captained Timo.
I'm dropping Timo.
I'm not. I'm still hopeful.
He's a bit disappointing.
He's not disappointing. All right,
it's a classic Chelsea overspend for a striker who doesn't end up doing anything.
I don't even know what position you want to call him because he plays everywhere.
Yeah, he's
not even a striker.
He's a rover. That's what they call it in kids soccer when I was a child. The rover. It's the guy who doesn't know how to play soccer, so he just runs around the field. That's
so you're saying Timo
or it's their best player.
Soccer.
or it's their best player who just controls the field. And that's unfortunately not Timo for any of those. He's not the best player on the team, and he's not the worst. He's just average. He's Tammy Abraham has more
Oh,
goals.
hold on.
Playing
Don't call
average.
Timo. Don't
Playing
call Timo
average.
Werner average.
Playing averagely. He's not an average player, but he's playing averagely. Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's fine. At least we can agree. I think he'll score a hat trick against
Okay.
Palace next week.
Okay.
He will.
You
my words
maybe in
right
your
now.
dreams.
I think he just needs
Maybe
to
in your
adjust.
dreams.
Mark my words right now. All right. Do we have any last disappointments or standouts before we head to our new segment, which we'll get to in a second?
Well, I know Parker likes them. They're one of the teams that he supports. Sheffield.
Oh.
So disappointing.
Food.
3 losses to start it off. Also,
Get me
another
started.
one who
Wait, Ego,
another
how many
team,
goals do they have this season? Do you know?
0.
0.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
the only ones not on the score sheet.
Another team that Parker sometimes supports, Wolves. Another disappointing
They
team.
lost the guy that Parker and I make fun of all the time, Jared Bowen, scored a brace against Wolves. That's
So embarrassing.
And Raul scored an own goal. How does I've never seen a striker score an own goal. How does that what?
Not Lukaku. Lukaku in the final.
Yeah,
Europa League final.
he was the most back player on the team. He was on the goal line for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know what he was doing there, but I know Sheffield is.
Yikes.
Imagine they get.
I mean, another one I have is just kind of the signings that City brought in besides Ake. I mean,
got a score sheet.
Ake
Stupid.
scored and he's been playing pretty nice, but I mean, maybe just Man City as a team, like besides like the obvious Kevin De Bruyne, but I think everyone else is just not really playing up to Man City standards. Like you look at their game against Leicester and they give up 3 pens. I mean, they were all silly fouls, especially Mendy's at the end.
Did they score all 3?
Kevin.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin himself didn't have a good game either.
Which is so rare.
Exactly. I had him
I don't even
captain.
think he was.
Got me 4 points. 4 points. Out of
It's
I don't
fantasy
even think he was
football.
playing Cam that game. I think he was playing like CDM.
Pep
It's
likes
Kevin, though.
Pep likes to be
It's
weird
Kevin.
with positions. He likes to be so weird with positions.
Yeah.
I mean, he literally turned Fernandinho into a center back, and now that's like his position. He just said, "Hey, Fernandinho, just go play center back for us for a couple games." Now that's his main position. I mean, Pep likes to do some weird stuff with the positions. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, they let up 5 against Leicester. Not taking anything away from Leicester, but 5.
By the way, Jamie Vardy having a great game, coming back strong from his incredible last season.
Good time to
Standout player.
get his jersey right now. It's a great time to get his jersey.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. So
I'm gonna cop that.
gonna have to. You know, I don't mind their burgundy jerseys. The ones that I don't mind those.
Oh, ooh,
I don't mind those.
I don't like them.
I really don't mind them.
I don't.
I'm gonna go for the dark blue navy.
Dark blue's got to be it.
The classic home.
Classic home jersey. All right. Well, listen, those are our standouts, disappointments. We've gone through an episode. Normally, we'd end the episode with a game of who does he play for, which Parker, I believe, is 0 for 25.
Hey,
We're giving him a break. We're going to let him cool down for a bit, and we're going to give the game to Eco. This is a great game that I've decided to play, and it's called What's the Number? It's the same format as who does he play for. I'm going to say 5 players from each of Europe's top 5 leagues. Eco's got to tell me what jersey number they wear. This one might be an easier game. We have 1 player from the Turkish league because I just found out minutes before this podcast that he just transferred away from this Ligue 1 team. But we're going to start off in the Premier League team with a Brighton player. It's one of the new signings, Joel Veltman. I'm afraid because I think you might know this one, but what jersey number does Joel Veltman play or wear?
First of all, I have no clue. But new signings sometimes they'll get a nice number. Somewhere between 1 and 30. So I'm gonna go with 27.
27?
27.
So he wears the number 34 for Appy Nori, one of the Ajax players who collapsed on the field. That's why Van de Beek wears 34. That's why Kluivert
I
wore
did
number
hear
34.
about this. I did hear.
Veltman, another former teammate of Appy's, wears the number 34 for Brighton. So you're wrong. We go to number 2 in the Bundesliga. VfL Wolfsburg. We've got Kevin Mbabu. What number does he wear, Eco? Now you know what it's like to be in the hot seat. Now you know how Parker.
I mean,
Yeah.
okay, you pick the random player, so they're gonna have the random numbers. So I'm thinking like a strong 74.
Oh wait, can I get a guess?
Yeah, go ahead.
19.
He's 19.
Oh my god.
You suck, Eco.
Hey.
This is why I play this game with Eco, not Parker. See. All right, number 3. This is the player who from the Turkish league who just transferred away from AS Monaco. He plays for Istanbul. That isn't Turkey. Just to make sure. Nasser Chadli. What jersey number does he wear?
12.
11.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. Now this is the one I was afraid that you were gonna get. Real Madrid. Do you know your jersey number as well? Maybe. We're gonna go with Nacho Fernandez. Nacho. What jersey number does he wear, Eeks? I'm afraid you might get this one.
Is it 39?
Oh, it's 6.
Oh.
39. What?
I don't know.
I thought it was 5.
5. All right. Well, you were closer than Nico. And then our last one, the brother of number 9, Romelu Lukaku. It's Jordan Lukaku of Lazio in the Serie A.
Oh, we play.
You know this player, but do you know what jersey number he wears?
I kind of feel like it's 13, but that's not my guess.
Okay.
Maybe like or 94. I kind of have a feeling he's like 94.
13 or 94. Okay.
What you got?
I'm gonna go with 13.
You're wrong. It's actually 5. I don't know where you got 9.
I don't know. I just imagined him with a big number.
13 or 94.
No, he wears the number 5. All right. Well, that concludes our game. Iko goes 0 for 5. We'll see how he does in the next one. Hopefully, it's like this again. But that does it for episode 8 of Inside the D. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next episode.